Hi guys, so I am gonna do a quick nail dip tutorial and a also / nail polish tutorial of this new polish I got from Live Love Polish. It's a holographic. It's very beautiful. Kind of hard to see on camera, but it's very beautiful. So I'm going to be using a very, very light natural pink dip. Excuse me. And the first thing I'm gonna do is prep my nails. I already put cuticle oil on and I already pushed my cuticles back on this hand, but I'm gonna show you with this hand how I do that. Excuse me. Okay, so I just push them back, and if they need trimmed, I trim them, but they don't need trimmed right now because I did that the other day. And my nails are looking kind of rough right now because I just took a set off, and I always have acrylic nails on, so my nails are pretty beat up. Okay, and then the next thing I'm gonna do is clean my fingers off with some regular alcohol and a paper towel to get that cuticle oil out of there. Make sure my nails are nice and dehydrated. I'm also gonna put a primer on to make sure they're good and dehydrated so everything stays on nicely. Okay, so this is the primer I'm gonna use just to dehydrate. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that on there. Okay, and then I have my nail tips. I already have my sizes picked out. And I'm just using this regular Kiss Maximum Speed Nail Glue. And these are the tips I have. I ordered them on Amazon. I could get like 500 of them for maybe like $8 or $10 maybe at the most, I think it was. Might have even been less than that. Okay, so buff your nails after you dehydrate them. Don't forget to do that like I just almost did. Okay, so now we're buffed. Now we're gonna go back to this and put the glue on. Get your tip on. And I hold that there as long as necessary, and sometimes if you need to, you can put a little very tiny drop in the corners there. Make sure they hold down good. You can push those in a little bit. Make sure they stay. Okay. I'm gonna go to the next one. Put just a little drop around the edge, just like I did. Get your tip on. Hold that down. Make sure it's staying in place. You're gonna do this for every finger. You wanna make sure you have the right size tips for your fingernails. You don't want them too big or too small. Okay, and then before I move to the next hand, I'm gonna trim these. I'm gonna use scissors because I don't know where my actual acrylic nail clippers are. So I'm gonna do some fairly short nails today, I think. Maybe I'm just gonna trim them to here for now. Okay, and really you should hold on to the nail for this so that way you don't knock your nail off, but they're on there pretty good, so we're just gonna go with it. Go a little bit shorter. Okay, so those are trimmed down. Now it's time to file them. And I always start with my tip. I file that down some, and then I move on to my sides. And you want to try to get that flat, just like that. Go around the side a little bit, and then back underneath. And keep that kind of straight. And then file the sides a little. Shape them up. Okay, and I am gonna go with a square today. And I'm gonna go a little bit shorter. And I'll probably only do one hand on camera just because I don't want to make this a super long video. Okay. Okay, so there's that one. It's filed. So we're gonna just keep doing the same thing all the way through. So we're just gonna go ahead and again, underneath, try to keep it flat. Get your tips nice and square. Sorry, there's not very much contrast on this paper towel, so it's hard to see the nail against the paper towel. Okay. So I'm gonna get those hard corners filed out of there. Okay, we're just gonna do this through every nail. Okay, so those are nice and filed. So once you're done that part, you can either use a regular file. I'm going to use my little electric file. It has a little, it's a USB cord, and you turn the speed up and you can turn it either way you want it to go. And I'm gonna turn mine on kind of a lower speed. And I'm just gonna very gently go around this crease where the nail meets the acrylic nail. And just kind of round that down a bit. Very, very gently. Bring these corners in a little bit. It's a little bit too slow. We're gonna turn that up just a little bit. Okay. And I like to do this just because it helps with the little bump you get there sometimes. So just very, very gently. Barely at all, just enough to bring that down some. And then I'm just gonna buff that just a little bit. Okay, and then once more, I'm gonna go back in one more time with the nail primer. You don't have to do this, but I always do just because it helps the acrylic powder to stick a little better, and you only put this on your natural nail. Okay, so that's prepped. And then I have, I'm gonna use the Model Ones base, activator, and top coat. And I was going to use Model 1's powder, but I didn't have the color I wanted, so this is an ASP Bubble Bath Pink, and you can get this at Sally's or online. And I like to give it a shake first. This is a very natural color. Okay, so now we do our dips. So there is not a lot in this, so I may end up using my little tray here. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how this goes. Okay, so to start, I always start slightly down from the cuticle in this area and put a nice thin coat, but make sure you get enough coverage. You don't want to put too much on or it will get lumpy. So you want to make sure that's nice and smoothed out. Okay. And then we're going to dip at a 45-degree angle. So see, this is kind of low, so I can't quite get as far back as I need to, so I'm going to use this to scoop some on here. Okay, and you can just pick it up and pour it on there just like that. Okay, we're going to tap the excess off, and then we're going to just brush that off. Okay, we're going to go to the next one and do the same thing. Not quite to the cuticle, just down from it. Nice thin coat. And we're gonna go right into the powder just like that. Okay, tap that off. Give it a little brush. On to the next one. Again, just down from the cuticle here. And we will be doing a second coat, so don't worry about getting close to that cuticle because we will be putting some on there. Just to start, we're gonna get this down in here. Okay, let's see now, my nails are too long to reach as far as I need them to, so we're just gonna use this to scoop and tap and brush very gently. Same thing for the next nail. Just down from the cuticle. Very thin coat. This stuff is really easy to use. Get that tapped in as far as I can. It's a lot better when you have a full jar because you don't have to keep doing this, but we're gonna work with it. Also, I just ordered the Model 1's dip powder kit that I got, and I want to say I paid like $24 for it maybe, and I will show you that then. It's a pretty good starter kit, I would say, and they have a couple different kinds. It seems to be a pretty strong dip. I like it a lot so far. And they always have good deals, so I'll show you that then. Okay, so now we're gonna do a second coat, so you can see not quite to the cuticle, just slightly down from it. Okay, now we're gonna build the nail up. We're gonna do a second coat, and this time we're gonna get closer to the cuticle, but not on the cuticle. Okay, so really, you really wanna get close, but not touch it. And if you do accidentally touch it, you can use your little cuticle cleaner or a toothpick or one of those little wood sticks to clean up around it. Okay, so I know my whole thumb is not gonna fit in here, so I'm gonna end up scooping what I need on here. Okay, and you're really only supposed to do 2 coats, but I do 3 just to make sure the nail is nice and strong. And I went with this very light color today because I'm going to be polishing over it instead of doing a solid color dip. Okay, now see, I got a little on the edge there, so I'll clean that up. We're gonna dip as far as we can. Take a little scoop here, make sure we fill it all the way in. We're gonna brush it off very gently. Okay, make sure you don't get any in the crease there. Okay. Tap, tap, tap. I will hopefully be getting a better setup with lighting too and camera angle. I know this isn't the greatest. I'm literally working with a little selfie stick and a little LED light. So I know it's not the greatest. So I'll have to get better lighting and such. And you want to move quick though if you have to scoop like this, because your base will dry up and then it won't stick and it'll just be a mess. So you put this on just like you would a nail polish, nice and thin. I'm sure if you're watching this, most of you probably already know that, but some may not, so. Okay, so that's where we're at. We are going to do a third coat. It is not necessary, but I do because I like my nail to be nice and strong and I like to build it up, and I see a few spots that could use another coat yet. Okay, so once you have that done, then we are going to activate. So we're going to use our number 3 bottle. And make sure you have all the excess off your nails. Use a little brush like this. If you order from Model 1s like I did, you get this with it. You get a cuticle cleaner. You get 2 nail files, clippers, this little thing, I forget what it's called, and you'll also get a cuticle oil, and you will also get a bottle of brush saver, and I will show these at a later date. I got 8 dips with it. Okay, so we're gonna activate that. And you wanna make sure you get your activator on nice and even. And you wanna give that a minute or 2 to dry. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with my file again, clean up these sides. Clean my shape up some. And I like to taper mine slightly when I do a square, just a little bit. Everybody has their preferences, so make sure you get those sides good. Make sure you have your nail shaped up nicely. Okay, I'm gonna go in with my drill now and clean up the top and around my cuticle and see if I need to build the nail up anymore, but I think I should be good. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my drill and I'm gonna clean up around the edges of my nail. Make sure to get in here really good. edges up just a little bit here. Very gently go over the whole nail. And we will also buff this when we're done.
Okay, so make sure your nail shape is nice.
Okay. And there are other tips on this drill as well. You don't have to use this one. I just prefer this one. Okay, now I'm gonna go back in with my file one more time. Clean these sides up. Buff the nail some. Make sure it's nice and smooth. I will also be going over it with a regular buffer block like this. Okay, and then you want to buff it with a buffer block or whatever kind of buffing file you have. And get underneath and get all that extra out of there, or you could use your electric nail file for that if you have one. So once I'm done buffing, I make sure I clean all this off my hand, and then I use my alcohol one more time to clean up around the nail. Make sure there's nothing hanging around the edges there. So I just wipe that off good. Clean that up nice. You could just, you could wash your hands. You could use alcohol like I do. Totally up to you. You want to make sure they're nice and clean. Okay, so there's our nails with just the dip powder. Okay. And now, oops, I see this one is just slightly crooked right there. And that's just not gonna work for me. There we go. Okay, now we are gonna do our top coat on the dip powder and then move on to the nail polish. Oops, that was too much. Whoops. Didn't mean to use all that. Gosh, that comes out a lot. More than you would expect. So now I'm gonna clean that up because that was too much. I didn't mean to get all that on there. Okay. Your coat, nice thin layer, nice and smooth. I always like to get the tip of my nail. And then we're gonna move on to this beautiful, beautiful holographic polish. It is so pretty. I can't wait to use it. I hope I can get it to look good on camera for you guys. So this was part one of this video for dips, and the second part will be for the holographic polish that you see here. So if you want to see that, check out part 2, and thanks for watching.